News 25 is brought to you by Bees Embroidery and Garment Printing, specializing in custom and personalized decoration of gifts, garments, and more. Call 775-727-9444. News is also brought to you by J.K. Nelson Law. Call 727-9900 today for your free consultation. If you need a lawyer, you need Nelson.
Tonight, 2 are arrested following a police chase, and traffic is closed for a 2-vehicle crash. News 25 starts now.
You're watching KPVM News 25 with Deanna O'Donnell. News 25. Local coverage you can count on.
A young couple is arrested for fleeing and drugs. It's Wednesday, March 27th. I'm Deanna O'Donnell. A Vegas couple reportedly high on drugs led police on a chase ending at the pumps at a gas station.
Patrol members be advised.
On March 25th, approximately 5 a.m. in the morning, the Nye County Sheriff's Office reported that a deputy in Beatty, Nevada, pulled over a vehicle on U.S. Highway 95 at approximately mile marker 44. The driver was identified as Alexander Riley and the passenger, Raven Haynes Thacker. Both are 23 from Las Vegas, Nevada. During a warrant search, the officer learned that Raven Haynes Thacker returned with an active warrant. The officer then attempted to take the passenger into custody. At that point, she even kicked the officer when he was trying to deploy his taser. The vehicle then fled southbound towards Las Vegas on Highway 95, traveling for approximately 40 minutes. Then police say the vehicle turned around, headed northbound towards Amargosa, stopping at the gas station at the Alien Travel Center. Additional officers arrived on scene and attempted to take both the driver and passenger into custody. Both were actively resisting. Police say that Alexander Riley even assisted in preventing Raven Haynes Thacker from being detained by police. Officers removed the driver, who was Riley, and put him inside a patrol vehicle. While Alexander Riley was inside the patrol vehicle, he was able to break out the back window with his head, while a passerby helped detain the female. While Haynes Thacker was in handcuffs, the video shows that she attempted to flee and take a gun out of one of the officers' holsters. During an inventory of the vehicle, police say that they found a meth pipe, a small amount of methamphetamine, and a handgun. They say both individuals appeared to be under the influence of methamphetamine. Both suspects were arrested and transported to the Nye County Sheriff's Office Detention Center. Raven Haynes Thacker was arrested for resisting, battery on a police officer, possession of a controlled substance, and possession of drug paraphernalia. Alexander Riley has been arrested for a headlight violation, evading a police officer, driving under the influence, and damage to a motor vehicle. And Fire Chief Scott Lewis says that 2 people were injured in a crash last night on the highway, but decided not to seek medical attention at the time. Pahrump Valley Fire and Rescue, Nye County Sheriff's Office deputies, and Nevada Highway Patrol were all dispatched to a 2-vehicle accident yesterday afternoon on Highway 372 and Linda Street. 2 people were injured as a result of this collision. However, both declined to be transported to local medical facilities. Traffic was blocked in all directions while troopers investigated the cause of this collision. Both vehicles sustained major damage. Well, there's bad news for a new drug that's being tested to treat Alzheimer's. Angela Miles has that and more.
British Prime Minister Theresa May said she doesn't yet have enough support to put her Brexit deal to a vote in Parliament. The EU said it's now prepared for the UK leaving without an agreement, a scenario described as increasingly likely. The PM's lost 2 big votes on her proposals. Others are seeing the latest turn of events as foreshadowing May's own exit from 10 Downing Street. Biogen plans to buy back shares worth $5 billion days after its stock plummeted on the drug maker's announcement ending 2 Alzheimer's disease trials. Biogen had lost more than $18 billion of value last week after the company and its partner terminated late-stage trials of their experimental Alzheimer's disease treatment due to insufficient efficacy. Shares of Nike fell more than 1% on Monday following a tweet from lawyer Michael Avenatti alleging Nike's involvement in a major high school and collegiate basketball scandal. Following the tweet, though, law enforcement officials put out a statement that Avenatti had been arrested and faces charges of wire and bank fraud.
All right, well, we will return with your court report and much more after this break.
KPVM News 25. Local coverage you can count on.
Welcome back. And late this afternoon, 3 people were transported from a 3-vehicle crash on Highway 160 and Frontage Road. We'll have more on that story on tomorrow night's broadcast. Well, Unette Gentry has the latest happening in our courts.
This week's court report, Michael James Liebig, the brother of 2 murder suspects who is incarcerated on unrelated charges, was rearrested while in jail at the Nye County Detention Center after a report of property damage in a jail cell pod. Liebig told an investigating deputy that he accidentally cracked the glass on the window in the jail cell pod. Liebig then admitted, after further questioning, that he and his cellmate were both tapping on the glass. Then Liebig says he noticed that he caused a crack with his metal ring. Due to that incident, Liebig was placed under arrest and booked on the charge of damage to jails and prison. Notably, Liebig previously violated his probation on additional charges following being sentenced to 24 to 60 months and 12 to 14 months suspended, and 12 to 34 months also suspended in 2 separate district court cases, listing the same formal charge of eluding a police officer with endangerment, and one of those charges was also listed as possession of a controlled substance, methamphetamine. This was after he was arrested following a short chase that led to a rollover accident. As a result, Liebig had a probation violation hearing in district court. During that proceeding, the court questioned if the defendant is ready to move forward, and he stated that he is. The court outlined the case history and reviewed the probation violation report on the record. Defense stated Liebig is prepared to admit to a majority of the allegations, other than smoking. Then defense recites the reasoning for Liebig being unable to complete a court-appointed drug program and states that it's due to his medical conditions, chiefly because those medical conditions are unspecified and specific to his condition. Defense then requests reinstatement of probation and the drug court program. The state submits. Then Liebig himself addressed the court and states that he intended to complete the court-appointed drug program and would like treatment. The court admonishes Liebig for being removed from the program. Finally, the court revokes probation, imposes the underlying sentence in both cases. Defense questions whether or not the cases will run consecutive and then requests a modification for them to run concurrent. The state opposes, and the court denies that request. You might remember that Michael Liebig's mother, Dawn Liebig, was tragically killed last year by her other sons, Dakota Saldivar and Michael Wilson, who are Michael Liebig's brothers. This has been your court report. I'm Unette Gentry for News 25.
Thanks so much, Unette. Well, this morning, News 25 spoke to the interim CEO of Valley Electric Association regarding the VEA Members for Change group that are looking to hold a special meeting to have the current board replaced following an electrical rate increase of the member-owned cooperative.
The VEA Members for Change have a different interpretation of our bylaws at Valley Electric. And I'd like to talk about that just briefly and everything. Again, it's very frustrating. They say they have 1,100 signatures. They say they have a petition, but they won't present that to us. Now, in our bylaws, there's 2 different sections. If you want a meeting, that's one section. If you want to recall the board of directors, that's a separate section. The one section for a meeting only requires 5% of the membership. If you want to recall the board, it requires 10% of the membership to sign the signatures. So we really don't know at this time what they have, because again, the only thing they have presented to me is a blank petition that clearly defines they want to recall the members. So they themselves won't give us the petition, won't give us the signatures. They say that they're worried about retaliation, which is just wrong, absolutely what would we do if it is all about the recall? We would probably have to turn around and say, no, you don't have enough, because it requires 10% or about 1,800 signatures. But since they classified it as a recall, but again, until we get the petition, have the attorneys review it and the board review it, I don't know what's going on out there. It's just crazy.
So they said they tried to drop it off on Monday, and the contention is that you would like to have a copy of it, and they would like to not expose the member signatures, right?
Yeah, I mean, I don't quite understand their position. They're entitled to their views, but the bylaws very clearly say that, you know, you need to give the petition with the signatures to the agent, in this case myself, and I would present it to Dave Hall. And this is normal in anything, but I've never ever seen a situation where they say they're right and we're wrong and they won't give us the information. I can't do anything until I get the information and I can sit and verify it. So it's very, very frustrating at this time, Deanna.
So let's talk a little bit about the 5% and 10%, because the 5%, they're saying they would like to call the meeting, and they're hoping by the meeting time they will have the 10% to recall the board.
Well, again, you cannot get 2 for 1. It's very specific. Here's if you're going to ask for a special meeting, that's one section of the bylaws. End of quote. Mm-hmm. Then if you want to remove a director, that's another section of the bylaws. End of quote. You can't get it both ways. That's just the way the bylaws are set up. If you want a special meeting, hey, that's fine. That's 5%. But you cannot, in your petition, say that in fact you're going to recall the board. And that's the item that I see that I think they've overlooked. They've tried to combine 2 and 1. You cannot do that because they're 2 separate sections.
And we'll have more on that story from the other side's point of view right after this break.
News 25 is brought to you by Bill and Robin Law, injury attorneys. Injured, need money? Get Bill and Robin, your local Pahrump injury attorneys.
Well, Ken Johnson tells us about the attempt to get a special meeting scheduled through Valley Electric Association so that they could move forward with removing the board of the electrical co-op.
So we got the petitions together, went down Monday morning at 8 o'clock. A group of the committee was there, about 13, 14 people, and asked Mr. Peck, when are we going to validate these signatures so we can send the meeting notice out, which the deadline to do that, according to the bylaws, would have been Tuesday afternoon. And he said, well, we're not checking these over. We're just going to, we don't believe that you're correct in your assertions, and blah, blah, blah. So then they traipse the attorney out, and the attorney tells us, we've got to look into interpreting the bylaws. So they've known for over a week now that we're asking for this meeting. We've cited the bylaws, the petition. We gave them a blank copy of the petition, and they said, well, hand over the petitions. People forget these people, according to the Review Journal that I read, they quoted the Nye County Sheriff's Office that the Board of Directors is under criminal investigation still. So we're not just handing over all these signatures and just trusting that they're going to go in the back, do a check, and then have them tell us, oh yeah, you didn't meet it. So get a load of this. So the attorney is being paid by the monies that each of us pay for electric, right? Mm-hmm. So then the attorney is there, hired by the board, paid through our monies, and is trying to stop us from being able to accomplish what the bylaws give us the right to do, which is a clear conflict of interest. And if you look at Corporate Policy 102 governing legal services, the lawyers hired by the firm have to represent everybody. So why are attorneys being paid by the members to oppose the members in their application of the bylaws? So we've actually filed a complaint, an ethics complaint, with the Nevada State Bar Association, because the board and the attorneys especially should have known it was a conflict of interest. Because, I mean, if you're a husband and wife and you have a same attorney for 10 years, mm-hmm. and you go to a contested divorce, can you really represent both of you fighting each other? Mm-hmm. No, it's a conflict of interest.
The CEO, interim CEO Richard Peck, is saying that you need to have your petition say that you're going for the 10% to remove the board.
Our petition says both. It basically says that we are intending to recall the board at a special meeting. And then it also states the purpose of the meeting is to call for the recall of the board members. So there is a difference in standard. But what the lawyers are agonizing about and what the board is trying to discredit is a single sentence out of the bylaws. And the highlighted section says a special meeting can be called by 5% of the members. Doesn't say how you prove that there's 5%. But then it says it's the duty of the secretary to cause notice of that meeting. In the section about recalling the directors, which is where they're getting wrapped around the axle, it contemplates this two-step process because it states that you have 10 days before the meeting to present your petition of 10% of the names, along with your written complaint against the board members, at a meeting for that purpose. But you can't have a meeting unless there's 25 days advance notice. So there's no way that their interpretation is accurate.
Well, County Commissioner Leo Blundo wants to hold a town hall meeting for the public to have an opportunity to ask questions about any issue they would like to address here in Nye County.
I'm putting on a town hall on 3/29 at 6 o'clock at the VEA Conference Center. I know, VEA, they still have a beautiful conference center there. All the acoustics are hooked up so everybody can hear. What I'm looking to do is want to recap the last couple of months as a newly elected, as a county commissioner working for the people. We're going to talk about roads. I know that's a hot topic for everybody. We're going to talk about how many complaints we've serviced, potholes, and issues we can address from the public. We're going to recap on some of the things I voted on while in office and if I can answer questions. And importantly, I want to do a big recap about everything I've accomplished and I think the rest of my colleagues accomplished while we were back in D.C. for NACO. And I think it's so important to talk to the public and inform them, hey, this is what we're accomplishing on your behalf. This is what we're working on. And if you have questions, comments, concerns, let's answer them. And then at the end, I'm going to do a Q&A session and be able to answer questions. But I think it's very important and strong to do a town hall. Hey, everybody, let's get together, let's break a little bit of bread, and here's what I've worked on, here's what I've accomplished, and here's the results of it, and here's the benefits here in the community. Obviously, working on things back in D.C., it moves very slow, but if you don't hammer it and keep hammering it and you don't stay on top of it, then nothing does get done. This is open to all of my constituents, which is everyone in Nye County, so anybody is welcome to attend. I look forward to seeing people from all the districts, and I don't speak for the other commissioners, but if anyone were to show up, I don't have an issue giving them a moment or two. I am spending my own money on giving this information to the public, but I think that's part of the job. I think that's so important. So it's not coming from, the public is not paying to get the information that they deserve. So I'm putting this on out of my own pocket. I think that's important. It's March 29th, so 3/29, 6 o'clock, and we're going to have some food, pizza, and beverages. This way, you can come right after work if you want to bring the kids. You'll be able to participate. And I think that's what's important. We want people to participate. If you have any questions, comments, concerns, you can reach me on my county cell, which is 775-277-0066, or my county email, which is lfblundo@co.nye.nv.us.
Well, are you looking for a dog? Perhaps a pup? If you're a veteran, family of a veteran, both retired or active duty, or know one that could benefit from a trained dog, Pups to Patriots are accepting applications for their current class of pups. If you don't see a dog in this class that you like, they have a wait list and the ability to find breeds both big and small. They conduct a thorough review to match you with just the right pup so you don't wait to reach out. They have 8 dogs to match before the 4th of July weekend available now. You can private message Pups to Patriots on Facebook to find out more.
News 46 Weather Cam is brought to you by Glenn Lerner Injury Attorney's Office in Pahrump. In a wreck, need a check? Call 702-877-1500.
Let's take a look outside. All right, down that Glenn Lerner Weather Cam, beautiful view right there of the desert. We'll find out what's in store for the week after this break.
You're watching KPVM News 25. Local coverage you can count on.
Hello and welcome back to News 25. I'm Michael Donahue with today's temperatures. In Las Vegas, we had a high of 78, a low of 54. Death Valley at 89.59. Amargosa, high of 76, low of 48. 71.44 in Beatty. 62.33 in Goldfield. Tonopah 60.32. Carson City, high of 53, low of 32. Fallon 64.33 and Fernley 58.32. Today in Pahrump, we have sunny skies, a high of 74 degrees, winds coming out of the south at 12 miles per hour with 14% humidity, and our sunrise at 6:37 a.m. For tonight, it's currently 73 degrees outside with mostly clear skies. Our low tonight will be 50 degrees. Those winds are still going to be coming out of the south at 10 miles per hour with 45% humidity, and our sunset at 7:01 tonight. Looking ahead to our 7-day, we got some clouds from about the end of this week and the beginning of next week, but we will have some sun shining through for this weekend. Temperature-wise, pretty much all through next week, we're going to see our highs still quite comfortably in that 70-degree range, just between 71 and 80 degrees. Or for overnights at the end of this week, we're just going to be at 44 and 47 degrees. And kicking off next Sunday through next Wednesday, our lows are just going to be in about those mid-50s, just between 52 and 56 degrees. Now, if you can make it home in time to catch news live on TV, make sure to check out our Facebook page. You can catch the news live every night at 5 there, as well as any other news and updates. Now we're going to throw it back to the desk with Deanna.
Thank you, Michael, so much. We'll be back tomorrow night. I'm Deanna O'Donnell from all of us here at KPVM TV and Ace Country Radio. Have a great night.